Imagine standing in the scorching dust, heart pounding like a war drum as you hear the thunderous charge of thousands of warriors barreling towards you. The ground trembles beneath your feet. Fear and adrenaline blend into a singular, primal instinct to survive. This is the ancient battlefield, where empires were carved in blood and steel, where legendary warriors etched their names into history, and where the fate of civilizations hung precariously on the outcome of a single battle. Welcome to the greatest land battles of the ancient world, a journey through time to moments where courage clashed with destiny, shaping the course of humanity. Our journey begins on the wind-swept plains of Marathon in 490 BC, where the mighty Persian Empire under King Darius sought to crush the rebellious Greek city-states. Outnumbered and seemingly doomed, the Athenians, led by Miltiades, faced a force nearly double their size. But through sheer strategy and audacious courage, they attacked in a daring, unprecedented maneuver. Greek hoplites broke into a full charge, shields interlocked, spears bristling like a wall of steel. The Persians, astonished and unprepared for such ferocity, crumbled under the disciplined Greek assault. Marathon became a symbol of defiance against overwhelming odds, a battle that inspired the very spirit of democracy and freedom. Fast forward to 331 BC, on the dusty battlefield of Gaugamela, where Alexander the Great faced the Persian king, Darius III. Vastly outnumbered, Alexander employed a brilliant tactical gambit, feigning weakness and baiting the Persian cavalry into exposing their flank. Like lightning, Alexander himself led the decisive charge, slicing deep into enemy lines. The Persian army unraveled in panic, their king fleeing the battlefield, leaving behind an empire ripe for conquest. Gaugamela secured Alexander's place in history, spreading Hellenistic culture from Egypt to India and reshaping the ancient world. Next, we land in 216 BC at Carrhae, a bloody encounter that historians call one of the most devastating military maneuvers ever executed. Hannibal of Carthage, a tactical genius, faced Rome's superior numbers head-on. Yet Hannibal's cunning plan was sinisterly elegant. He allowed the Romans to penetrate his center lines, deceptively retreating to lure them in before swiftly encircling the Romans from both flanks with cavalry and infantry. Trapped and encircled, Roman soldiers were systematically cut down. By sunset, nearly 70,000 Romans lay dead, a staggering defeat that shook the very foundations of the Roman Republic. Speaking of Rome, leap forward to 52 BC and the siege of Alesia, where Julius Caesar faced off against the Gallic chieftain Vercingetorix. Trapping his foe within the fortress of Alesia, Caesar executed an audacious double encirclement, building fortifications facing both inward to besiege the city and outward to defend against relieving forces. Despite a desperate Gallic counterattack from outside, Caesar's discipline and innovative engineering proved unstoppable. Vercingetorix surrendered, sealing Caesar's conquest of Gaul and cementing his reputation as Rome's preeminent military mastermind. Another epic clash brings us to the brutal confrontation at Teutoburg Forest in 9 AD, where Rome suffered one of its most humiliating defeats. Germanic tribes, under the leadership of Arminius, ambushed 3 entire Roman legions in dense, unfamiliar terrain. The legionnaires, trapped between marshy bogs and dense trees, stood little chance against the swift, relentless guerrilla attacks of the Germanic warriors. By battle's end, approximately 20,000 Romans had fallen, an event that forever halted Rome's northward expansion into Germania. Venturing eastward in 202 BC, we encounter the pivotal Battle of Zama, where the legendary Roman general Scipio Africanus finally faced Hannibal directly. Unlike previous encounters, Rome now employed Numidian cavalry, who decisively neutralized Hannibal's war elephants and cavalry forces. Scipio's disciplined legions then overwhelmed the Carthaginian infantry, ending Hannibal's unbeaten streak and effectively sealing Rome's dominance in the Mediterranean. This victory at Zama marked the dawn of Roman supremacy, reshaping the geopolitical landscape for centuries to come. Our journey continues with a flash of swords and spears at Thermopylae in 480 BC, where King Leonidas of Sparta led 300 warriors against Xerxes' immense Persian force. For days, these Spartans defended a narrow pass, embodying extraordinary courage against impossible odds. Though ultimately overwhelmed, their defiant stand inspired Greece to unite against Persian domination, immortalizing Leonidas and his warriors as symbols of bravery and sacrifice. As we reach the twilight of antiquity, 451 AD brings us to the Battle of the Catalaunian Plains. Here, the mighty Attila the Hun clashed with Roman forces under Flavius Aetius. In this brutal engagement, both sides suffered enormous casualties, but Attila's advance was halted, preventing a catastrophic invasion of Western Europe. This desperate, bloody battle preserved what remained of the declining Roman order, temporarily delaying Europe's plunge into chaos. Finally, we journey to 378 AD and the disastrous Roman defeat at Adrianople. Gothic tribes, fleeing the Huns, revolted against harsh Roman mistreatment. Emperor Valens arrogantly attacked prematurely without awaiting reinforcements. The Goths, led by Fritigern, skillfully surrounded and slaughtered the Roman forces, including Valens himself. This stunning defeat foreshadowed Rome's eventual collapse and profoundly changed the European landscape. Each battle we've explored is a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and resilience under the most harrowing circumstances. These aren't merely ancient skirmishes. They are turning points that defined the world we inhabit today. The echoes of these titanic clashes still reverberate through history, reminding us that the course of human civilization often hinges upon the outcome of a single, decisive moment of battle. In 53 BC, amidst the barren deserts of Carrhae, Roman arrogance met its stark nemesis in the Parthian cavalry. Marcus Licinius Crassus, Rome's richest man and an influential triumvir, confidently marched 40,000 legionnaires against Parthia, envisioning another effortless conquest to enhance his legacy. But the Romans, accustomed to close-quarter infantry combat, found themselves utterly unprepared for the Parthians' lethal mounted archers. These horsemen unleashed relentless volleys, each arrow a lethal whisper, systematically shredding Roman formations without ever directly engaging. Attempting pursuit only deepened Roman despair, as the Parthians masterfully executed feigned retreats, drawing their adversaries into deadly traps. By dusk, the battlefield was littered with Roman dead, including Crassus himself, whose death symbolized Rome's overreach and vulnerability. Carrhae dramatically shifted power dynamics in the east, marking the rise of Parthia as a formidable force against Roman expansion. Traveling to East Asia in 208 AD, the legendary Battle of Red Cliffs unfolded along the banks of China's Yangtze River. Here, the cunning strategist Zhuge Liang and the warlord Sun Quan joined forces against the numerically superior fleet commanded by Cao Cao. Facing seemingly insurmountable odds, Zhuge Liang's strategy was both ingenious and daring. Employing deception, espionage, and a masterstroke involving fire ships laden with oil and explosives, they launched an audacious nighttime attack. Flames engulfed Cao Cao's massive fleet, the fiery spectacle illuminating the night sky and turning the river into a blazing inferno. Cao Cao's forces, utterly devastated, retreated in chaos. The Battle of Red Cliffs marked a pivotal turning point in Chinese history, fragmenting the Han dynasty and laying the foundations for the iconic Three Kingdoms period. Moving forward in time to 451 AD, on the sweeping fields near the Chalons region in France, one of the bloodiest confrontations of antiquity took place, the Battle of the Catalaunian Plains. Attila the Hun, known ominously as the Scourge of God, met a resilient coalition of Roman, Visigothic, and Frankish warriors, united by necessity rather than alliance. The ferocity of combat was unmatched. Warriors clashed furiously under skies blackened by volleys of arrows. It was said the battlefield was so bloodied that the very earth turned crimson. Despite horrific losses, Attila's invasion was decisively halted, saving Western Europe from devastation. The battle was a desperate stand that preserved remnants of civilization amid mounting chaos, signaling both a symbolic end to Rome's dominance and a beacon of resistance against relentless barbarian incursions. Further east, in 627 AD, the Battle of Nineveh erupted in the heart of the ancient Near East, determining the fates of the Byzantine and Sassanid empires. Byzantine Emperor Heraclius, facing defeat after decades of Persian dominance, daringly bypassed enemy strongholds to strike directly at the heart of Persia. Near Nineveh, Heraclius's disciplined troops confronted a Persian army confident in victory. Employing strategic deception and lightning-fast cavalry maneuvers, the Byzantines shattered Persian lines, decisively altering regional power dynamics. Nineveh crippled the Sassanid Empire irreversibly, laying the groundwork for its eventual collapse and profoundly shaping the historical and religious landscape of the region. These ancient battles were more than clashes of swords and shields. They were moments where destiny pivoted, reshaping borders, rewriting cultures, and redefining empires. Each confrontation demonstrated that victory hinged not merely on strength, but on audacity, strategy, and sometimes sheer fortune. Their stories echo timeless lessons of valor, strategy, and the indomitable human spirit, reminding us that history's greatest moments often unfold amidst the dust and chaos of battle.